Hey everybody, welcome to my EUIC roundup video. This is something I've been planning on doing and I completely forgot about doing it. If that makes sense. What I should have done a while ago is put together a bit of a script and maybe have an idea of what I want to talk about. Instead, I just went into this and went, yep, I got some ideas, we'll go for them and see how we go. Listen, organization is like number 0. Number 1 on my priority. EUIC was this weekend, just gone. I was competing, as is proven by this wonderful, I didn't steal this wonderful competitor badge that I got here. This is really cool. We didn't get anything like this for Liverpool, so I didn't have anything to show off. Liverpool's weird. We kind of just wandered in, and nobody ever stopped us anywhere. It was just like, yeah, I'm sure it's fine. I'm like, cool, okay. So, yeah, weird. Cool to have something official. That's very awesome. We started the day off with getting our goodie bags. I've got the stuff down here. You've probably already seen them already if you're interested in any way, shape, or form. They look like this. Play Pokemon. They look like cats. That'd be a bit weird. But yeah, just to give you a quick idea of what we got the very nice Sylveon/EV cap, which my girlfriend's already said she's stealing off me, which is fantastic. Got a couple bits here that's from the Pokemon Center as well, so I'll show those off in a second. Deck box for competing, with things in it. No idea what's in there, that's exciting. I feel like I should know what's in there, and I have no idea. There's a cat there. 2 lots of deck sleeves, which, listen, going by the quality of previous ETB sleeves and stuff like that, probably not going to worry about it too much. And finally, the competitor playmat, which I didn't use. I've got my my regional one. Let's get into the screen. My regional one that I'm very proud of. But yeah, it's a very nice map. We'll add it to the collection, which I'm starting to get now. As far as Pokemon Center is concerned, we picked up a 2023 in Europe competitor. It says competitor. Competitor badge. I thought it was a magnet. It's a pin badge. Kay's gonna be very upset about that. We bought another cap that goes with the hoodie that I bought. Love the hoodie. The hoodie's fantastic. And we also ended up picking up, which I never had intentions of. Put it down to FOMO. We also got the exclusive EUIC playmat as well, which, again, I had no intentions of getting, no intentions of using myself, but Kaya has seen it since and is like, absolutely, I will be using this. So, yeah, very cool. Loved what we got from there. We also picked up a couple of booster bundles as well, which we'll be opening and I'm sure posting the results of on Instagram before too much longer. So yeah, good little haul overall. Anyway, on to EUIC itself. I've got my results over here so I can talk about them. There is a couple of things that I'll definitely talk about once we get into the matches, but I want to say misplays probably cost me more in this tournament than I've ever had before. It was kind of ridiculous. But yeah, we'll go over them as we look. So first game was a loss against Lost Box Tina, or Giratina. I think that match was relatively unfavourable for me anyway. I kind of got lucky taking a couple of prize cards early. It's not a match I really have much memory of, I'm going to be honest. I just remember like seeing them get their Lost Zone just going straight away. I got lucky a couple of times where I was able to take down a Giratina before it could knock out, but the amount of times it would be like, Giratina powered up, boss up a Giratina, knock that out. And Giratina's my answer to Giratina, you know what I mean? I've got to get them out of the way early. I've got to have 2 Giratinas powered up and knocking out Giratinas quickly. I had nothing. Oh, for context, I should probably say, I was playing Arceus Giratina, very simple list, very simple version of the list, maximum consistency, which you'd think would mean, listen, I'm gonna have good starts, good hands, everything. No, we'll get to that in a minute. So, yeah, interesting match. Next game was a win-win against Lost Box Tina. I know what you're thinking. How did you go from a loss to a win-win against Lost Box Tina? My guy bricked the hardest I've ever seen anyone brick. They opened, if I remember right, something like a Tina, and they managed to get a Comfy on the bench, but found nothing off the draw off Tina. So I just bossed up the Comfy, knocked it out, and he scooped. I think something incredibly similar happened the second time too. Like, the match was over in 20 minutes. They took no prize cards. It was ridiculous. I was like, if all my games could be this awesome, I'm gonna be in a great position. And then we go to match 3. Lost the match. Sorry, Match 3 was a loss against Gardevoir, and I've written down, basically threw away round 1 because of Temple of Sinnoh. This was the first of the big misplays, so I was probably in a good position to take game 2. The problem was, I had Path in play for ages, and I don't know if you guys do this at home. If a stadium has been in play for ages, you think that's a stadium in play. It got taken down by a Temple of Sinnoh. My guy started powering up, and he powered up. I did have a Gardevoirization. I brought the next Pokemon up, had a double turbo and a basic energy on it. I did all my shenanigans and then said 180 for knockout. Forgetting Temple of Sinnoh was in play. Took my prize card, my guy put the Pokemon into discard, and then brought the next Pokemon up. And I went, I can't do that. I am so sorry, I can't do that. And he goes, what do you mean? He goes, Temple of Sinnoh's in play, isn't it? Double turbo won't. It only counts for 1 energy. He goes, I didn't even catch that. And I said, call a judge. That is completely my mistake. I'm so sorry. He goes, mate, if you hadn't caught that, you'd have got away with it. I was like, listen, I said to him, I don't want to take illegitimate wins. You know what I mean? I don't want to hope people don't spot stuff like that. That's probably the best way to describe it. Because if he then spots it like 3 turns later, and he goes, oh wait, how did you do that? I've got no answer. They've got no answer, and I think both of us end up with like a game loss, so I don't know exactly how that works. Anyway, long story short, the guys came over, or judges came over, double prize penalty, and that was it. And because they only had to take 2 cards to win the game, they ended up getting the win. If I had a 2 prize buffer like I thought I had, or like I should have had if I hadn't made that mistake, I may have been okay, but yeah, it screwed me, so that sucked. That really did suck. Next game was game 4, round 4. This made me feel sick. Like, this almost had me quitting the tournament. So, first of all, my opponent shows up 4 minutes late, which is like, as one of my friends from Manflux said, is the worst kind of late because they're not late enough for a game win. For me, or a game automatic game loss for them, and it's not even like, I don't think they get any penalty really. I think if it's a draw, I win is the way that works. So yeah, 4 minutes late. They won the first game. I won the second game, and the second game was awkward as hell. Played judge, and they drew 6 cards off the judge instead of 4. No idea how you manage that. Said that, oh, that's what I've done, blah, blah, blah. I went, okay, I'll call a judge over, called the judge over. After that, I got they got a 2 prize penalty, so I only had to take 2 prize cards to win the game. And yeah, they were like, kind of thing, you know what I mean? And we had 4 minutes added. 4 minutes or 5 minutes added, one of the two. And I was like, okay, I guess makes up for the start. So I ended up winning, taking 2 prize cards and winning. So at this point, time is called, but we have an extra 4 or 5 minutes. My guy starts packing up. I said, cool. I said to the judge who'd sat by us, does that count as a win for me then, because it's a tie? And they said, oh, you've still got the 4 minutes extension. I was like, shit, we do. I said to the guy, do you think we can finish a game in 4 minutes? And he goes, I don't know, do you want to try? I said, I'll leave it with you. I'm happy to take the win, but if you think, we can go for a game in 4 minutes, that's absolutely fine. He goes, yeah, let's go for it. So my politeness has absolutely screwed me here because they had the typical good Miraidon start, they had the energy they needed and all this stuff. I open a Squovit. My opening is a goddamn Squovit. First card, Nest Ball. Nest Ball for Arceus. Obviously, I'm like, yes, cool, we can get something going here. They power up one of their Pokemon, don't take a knockout on that turn, and then it comes back to me. Double Turbo on the Arceus. That's all I can do. I've got nothing in my hand to find anything. No supporters, no balls.
No balls. No balls.
Nothing. So attach, pass. If I remember right, they then bosses orders my Arceus up, but can only do 100 and... I can't remember if they were switching bolts or Raiku's. They weren't doing much damage to me. It was like 70 damage or something like that. So it might have been Raikou. They couldn't power up the Miraidon, which I thought, thankful, I can ride this out. I could stall this out a little bit. But instead, again, me being a good player, a nice player, I thought, I'm going to just, work as quick as I usually would. I'm not going to be, I'm not taking illegitimate wins. Anyway, still draw nothing. I end up switching the Arceus into the Squovit. Squovit then gets knocked out. Arceus brought up. Chip damage. I top deck, nothing. More chip damage. Top deck, nothing. Another 70 for the knockout. And that's game. And I was so angry and so frustrated by that. And that was only my third loss. You know, that's already day 2. I'm not going to day 2. But I was so angry about how that game played out that I nearly just dropped out there. Because it was just immensely frustrating. I don't even know how to describe how angry I was. Like, not only were they late, not only did they end up having a judge called on them again for a mistake under playing judge. Like, who doesn't know 4 for judge? You know what I mean? They weren't punished. They won. And I don't know where they ended up, but I really hope they didn't make day 2. Because it was really, really frustrating. It's probably the most annoyed I've ever been playing a match. Then, weirdly, win-win against Gardevoir Mewtwo v Union. Again, because of the previous game, I was almost silent playing my opponent. I felt really bad. I did apologize at the end. I was like, you know, I've had a really bad like previous round and stuff like that. And they were like, oh yeah, we're all on the same score. I was like, no, you don't understand. Like, it was so bad. I explained it. Yeah, that really sucks. But yeah, I started second both times, and I don't know if I was just playing well. I don't know if the deck was just coming alive a little bit more, because it let me down a couple of times. But yeah, I managed to get the wins there. They benched Zacian V really early. They went for Sky Seal plays, which gives them 3 prizes from an Arceus V. But like, it doesn't really... If I don't bench Bibarel or Squovit, or if they don't boss up them, the prize map still works out the same. You still need to knock out 2 Arceus and a Giratina, or 2 Giratina and an Arceus. You still need to go through the same prize map for extra work. Like, Sky Seal's kind of pointless in that situation. But I get it, you know, if you get it early. But I managed to knock that out and then just chip away at that Pokemon. The one... was it that matchup? Let me quickly look. Yeah, no, it was the Game 8 that was a weird one. Yeah, I just managed to play absolutely grand. I don't know what it was, but I will say this much, I forgot to mention. Game 1, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's a new thing or not, we had a random deck check before we even started, and they brought the cards back and then did a judge shuffle. My first game, I found no supporters whatsoever. Like, where were they? They were gone. I blame the judge, and yeah, I said he cursed me. Anyway, next up we had a loss, but it was a win. So, another opponent playing, was it Gardevoir? I think it was Gardevoir. Yeah, Gardevoir. So the tweet was, okay, so loss, win-win. My opponent won first round, then said, okay, you can have the win. I want to go to the Pokemon Center. So won by default? Or my version, opponents so terrified by my deck that they knew they couldn't take a win if I actually got set up properly, GG. So, yeah, long story short, yeah, they took the first round. Almost no problem. And then because they wanted to go to the Pokemon Center, they were like, yeah, I'm just going to drop out. So I was like, cool, okay, I'll take a default win. We take those. I did justify it to myself a little bit by going, you know, that Miraidon deck in game 4 basically stole a win from me. So I will absolutely take the 3 wins. That led me to a win-loss against Goodra, which is another big mistake play. It was a tie, so it's not the worst thing in the world. But Arceus Goodra, I lost Goodra versus Art Giratina is an interesting one. Long story short, took game 1, no problem. Game 2, and I forget the order of results that happened here, and apparently something happened in the junior finals, which was very similar to this. I started my turn, I attached a Grass Energy to a Bibarel. I think I then judged, and out of the judge, I got a double Turbo Energy, and because I wanted to thin my hand for a Bibarel Industrious Incisors, I played the DTE onto... I played an Arceus down, played DTE onto it, and I did something else, then drew off Bibarel. My opponent caught it, and as soon as they said it, I was like, fuck, you're right, yep, no, I've completely messed up there, please call a judge. Another 2 prize penalty for me. And because of that, I lost the second game, and if I hadn't have taken that 2 prize penalty, I'd have won. Long story short, they had enough to knock out an Arceus. And if I had 2 prizes left to play with, I would have brought up the Giratina, knocked out the Gudra that already had 150 damage on it, and taken my last 2 prize cards and won. So that cost me a win. I don't know that the very first mistake that I made with the Temple of Sinnoh cost me a win. I think they probably played better than me either way. But that game was definitely the loss of a win, and that's going to be a frustrating one. That's going to be one that I need to nail down, because I shouldn't be making mistakes like that at all. It was annoying. It was annoying. Next game was a win-win against gardevoir, and I don't know if this was a new player. The same scoreline as me. At this point, we are 3-3-1. They weren't expecting a Lost City in an Arceus deck. Now, every list I've seen of Arceus recently, Arceus Giratina, I think Gudras as well and stuff like that, they run 3-path 2 Lost. That's not uncommon. That's pretty standard, actually, especially for an Arceus Tina list. That's very standard. I managed to actually this is not. I missed out on this quite a few times, actually. It was quite annoying. What is a really fun thing to do with Arceus, if you can pull it off, if you don't need to find out a switch, you don't need to find double turbo or anything like that, you use Starbirth to find Lost City and a boss. You play down the Lost City, you boss up whatever it is you need to get rid of completely, take that knockout. That is one of my favourite strategies to use with Arceus, and it was the first time in 8 rounds, or 8 games, whatever, that I was actually able to use that strategy. It was so fun. Anyway, they weren't expecting me to do that on their 1 Curlier that they'd set up, and they scooped. So we played the game out again. Similar situation, sets everything up, gets the Gardevoir ready, rare candied into the Gardevoir, sorry, Starbirth, Lost City, boss, bring it up, scooped. Game was done in less than 15 minutes. Don't know why I can't have that luck all the time, but yeah, there we go. So at this point, with 4-3-1, my previous competitive record, big event record, is 4-3-2 at the Liverpool Regionals. That's my one and only. So I was like, oh, I wonder if I can equal this. I'd be happy equaling this. So I said to my partner, I said to a couple of people, I'm going to ask if my opponent will ID, just because I would really love to keep that scoreline. And they're going to be on the same scoreline as well. They're not going to be going to day 2 if they beat me. So, last game. Let's scroll down a little bit. Lugia. Fucking Lugia. I avoided Lugia all goddamn day. And my last round, my last game, is Lugia. My absolute worst matchup. How did the tweet go? LL against Lugia. The only one I run into, and it's the last effing game. And they wouldn't ID to let me equal my Liverpool result. What a CUNT. Anyways, finished 4-4-1 in my first international championship. I'm okay with that. I don't think I played badly, but I definitely made mistakes that resulted in round/game losses. Those I'll have to iron out for next season. Gonna take a week off, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I was incredibly frustrated by that. I actually had, like, some hope with the way they were playing that I could have, like, taken a round at least. They were holding it. They threw away a Tyranitar, and I was like, ooh, interesting. Kept Ultra Balling and Nest Balling for stuff and failing it and blah, blah, blah. They had a Tyranitar in their hand the entire time. Played it down, earned a Vitality, powered it up, knocked out Pokemon, 2 prize cards and 1. I was pissed off. I almost scooped straight away and just said, you know, sign the sheet and call it a day. But the sheets didn't come up, so I was like, I'll just play it, whatever. And because I felt like I was doing well in round 2, I actually didn't scoop. I was like, okay, I'll carry on playing. If I'd have known they were like holding that Tyranitar the entire time, just take the last 2 prize cards, I think I'd have scooped. But yeah, it was really annoying. It was like, listen, I said to them, I told him the situation, you know, I want to equal my Liverpool score. He's like, oh, I just want to improve my scoreline. I said to my bot, like, fucking why? Like, you've already, like, not making day 2. You're not getting championship points out of this. Just let me... I said in the group chat, only a Lugia player wouldn't intentionally ID on round 9. So yeah, frustration. But 4-4-1, fantastic scoreline for an international tournament, in my opinion. Especially one where I made, you know, 2 or 3 massive misplays. Yeah, I'm happy where I came, now that I've had a bit of time to think about it. But I will say this much, I am going to take a bit of a break, probably just for this week. This video will be coming out on Monday. Probably going to take a bit of a break this week, so we'll have some videos coming up as usual on YouTube, but yeah, probably won't be streaming till I don't know, I might do a Friday, Sunday stream. Just, skip out on the week. I'll probably end up going to Mana Flux on Thursday as well, just to play there. But definitely going to play some less serious stuff. I think Big Pig is definitely going to make a resurgence, because I do like this Big Pig. But yeah, as far as streams are concerned, I probably will continue playing a lot of Pokemon TCG. I've really enjoyed playing it still. It's not like I've come out this weekend going, well, that's it then, I can't play this game. I want to put a lot of practice in. I want to try out more gardevoir. I want to try out the... if you haven't watched it already... spoilers for the EUIC finals. The Masters came down to Alex Shimensky with Arceus Duraludon of all decks. Very good. And Tord Reklev, who played Gardevoir, which again, very good. People didn't have that down as a final contender, I think. Game ended 2-1 to Alex with the Arceus Duraludon, and I yelled cheering for that one. I was very excited because, if you know me, I'm a big Arceus fan as far as the card game is concerned, and I love finding new partners for Arceus. They were playing Arceus Duraludon Vulpix, I believe, which, annoyingly, I won't name names, but I was fully intending on practicing at some point. It's all sleeved and everything, ready to go. I didn't end up testing it under the advice of a friend, who won't be named. He's lovely though, and I love him. He's my best mate. That's not giving away anything, is it? Anyway, this has been the EUIC Roundup. If there's any questions you've got, please leave them in the comments. Happy to answer them. Pokemon TCG live streams will be continuing next week. But yeah, plenty of those coming out on YouTube as well. Like, I've got so many videos I want to do. It's whether we find time to have them and make them and etc. But until the next one, guys, thank you very much for watching. All my social media links are in the description below, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.